Hi, everybody. Andy Giacomazzi with you again for another edition of Academics Talking Academics in Virtual Elevators, where we take that classic elevator pitch to a whole new level. And today we welcome Dr. Mari Rice into the elevator. Mari received her doctorate in education at Boise State University in May of 2019 with an emphasis in experiential and service learning in STEM. She earned an MS in environmental studies with an emphasis in environmental education from the University of Montana and a BA from the University of Oregon. Prior to coming on full-time in the School of Public Service at Boise State, Mari worked in the field of education, serving in a range of positions that included coordinator for TRIO Upward Bound in Colorado, leading outdoor and environmental education courses throughout the U.S. and abroad, and classroom teaching. She also has worked on a number of organic farms and has a certificate in organic horticulture from UC Santa Cruz. Go Banana Slugs. Her research interests lie in environmental education, experiential learning, water resources, sustainable agriculture, waste reduction, and campus sustainability. Mari, welcome to Academics Talking Academics in the Elevator.
Thank you so much.
First things first, what floor would you like to go to?
Let's go to the second floor. That's the best one.
All right, second floor, and this will be the longest ride from the first to second floor that anybody's ever experienced. Mari, you're in our experiential learning public interest issue, and I know you got some cool things going on in your environmental studies 300 class, including the tree inventory project. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so usually this environmental studies 300 class, we partner with a local agency and address an environmental problem locally. It gives the students a chance to get out in the field and get that local context. And during COVID, this was a challenge, obviously. So I'd had in my 121 course where I do service learning, we worked with the Treasure Valley Tree Canopy Network for them and did some social media outreach during COVID. And as part of that, they're part of this big City of Trees challenge. And the city's trying to plant 100,000 trees, 10 years. Boise State is part of the urban downtown landscape. And that data from our campus was kind of missing from their larger inventory. And so we were approached by the Department of Lands, the Service Learning Office, myself, and they wanted us to see if we could get this designation as a campus to become a tree campus higher education institution. And that would mean that we would have our Arbor Day, we'd be involving students in planting trees. And in order to get this designation, we needed to do a big service project. So this 300 class last fall took on the huge challenge of doing an inventory of every tree on the campus. And Landscape Services Director Gabe Bishop divided the campus into 10 sections, and the students in 10 teams got trained on this software called Planet Geo, and we would go out and identify every tree on campus, which was a daunting task. And we had to use some really neat tools like iNaturalist, just a citizen science tool, some tree selection guides to try to figure out what these trees were and what their pruning needs were. But the ultimate goal in doing this is to have an idea, like how many trees do we have on campus? What is the coverage? Are there areas where we have like higher urban heat? How much carbon are we sequestering? And try to get more campus kind of build awareness around the value of trees to mental health and environment and all kinds of other aspects.
That is amazing, and really a great example of this sort of roll up the sleeves, hands-on learning. There's more about learning than just in the four walls of the classroom. Really, really awesome stuff, Mari. Part of our experiential learning initiatives too includes internships, and I know you're the internship coordinator for environmental studies. What kind of internships are your students involved with?
A lot. Environmental studies is such a broad discipline. So I have students in nonprofits, federal agencies, state agencies, working with schools. We work with the city. So they're all over the place. Most are here in Treasure Valley, but I have students interning in their own hometowns as well in the summer. We have some neat partnerships with some agencies like the Boise Urban Garden School. We have quite a few students that are learning about agriculture, regenerative farming, farming with biodiversity. And then I have other students that are doing something completely different. So they'll be working with the DEQ, the Department of Environmental Quality. And one of the projects we have there is they partner up with a actual company, take a class together, and they're working on a pollution prevention plan for the company. So the students get that like real life context again, and to figure out how can companies take that step. So like a huge range of projects. I have students out with fish and game, out in the field, students in the lab with USGS. Gosh, it's a range.
Really bringing those classroom discussions and readings really into practice through those internships. And I bet a lot of these all these organizations are very grateful that we have students that are interested in the environment and working with them as well. Tell us a little bit about the newer environmental education certificate that you're the coordinator of.
Yeah, this is a great 13 credit certificate that students can earn. We had a few years ago, Dirk Anderson from Boise State in Snow School approached environmental studies and the I Do Teach program on campus. That's a science teaching education program, and the outdoor leadership program at the outdoor rec. And we got together and created a 13 credit certificate. The idea is to help train professionals in environmental education to create a workforce that's ready to go when they graduate. And so in this program, students will take some classes in environmental studies. They can take some leadership classes through the LEAD program. They take some STEM education classes and learn about curriculum. They can do internships. They can even earn credit for taking they were a trip leader for outdoor rec. We've figured out a way for them to earn a little bit of credit that way as well. So it's a pretty broad certificate, and students can kind of specialize in the type of environmental education they're interested in.
Oh, looks like lots of choices for them as well. Well, thank you, Mari. I do hear the ding, and that means we're finally on the second floor of this building. So we finally made it. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody for watching as well. Join us next time on another edition of Academics, Talking Academics in Virtual Elevators.